So I'm going to show you what you get for $72 at Walmart. Let's go. Hi, this is Stacy from the Blue Keystone. I sew and sell clothing. I also have a YouTube resource where I talk about whatever I want to. Today I am opening this sewing machine. I want to start doing some patterns, and I want to show you that you can sew from knits or whatever you want to, even on a basic machine. You don't have to have an expensive machine. So I'm going to go ahead and unbox this. Got to tell you, this is the Brother LX3817. Here we go. The owner's manual is something that you want to keep. Save this stuff. I'm going to keep mine in the bag because that way it's all together. Now there's a couple things here. They have this lower bobbin taped here. Shows you how to put the thread into your bobbin and how to put the bobbin into the machine, but I'll show you how to do that. Also, this thing with the zip bag, you want to keep these in there. In short, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to thread the machine. I'm also going to show you what fabrics you can use on it. Can you use stretch fabrics? Can you use jean? How many layers of jean? How many layers of cotton? Can I do quilting on it? I'm going to do a little bit of everything. So I'm going to show you what you get for $72 at Walmart. Let's go. And we're going to take this part off. There is a lever here. You're going to pick that up so it releases the pressure on that. And then it should come out. Maybe. Aha! So now that we've got all the parts off and we've got this thing out, they gave you enough bobbin that you could get started. If you wanted to do white thread, you're going to need to take this apart. There's two parts. One goes in your plug, one goes on the side. And notice there's a pattern, so you have to match the pattern up. Push it all the way in there. And voila. This is an LED light so that it is natural daylight. Sometimes when you have fabric, like the colors of the fluorescent make it look different. You don't care. Let's get to sew. But before we can sew, gotta do thread. Okay, so I am going to do this backwards, okay? So, not backwards for you, but backwards for me. So there's a little stand here, pull it up, put your thread on it. Sometimes your labels aren't off. If they aren't, pull that off. There are exact diagrams that tell you how to do this up here, okay? But this one over here is for when you do your bobbins. The first little notch is where you want to go, and then you want to go down here around. This little thing is the tension dial. You need it to make a nice thread. You want it to hook around there. Now, when you come across the tension dial back up here, there is a lever here, a metal lever, and it's kind of got a hook on it. So you want to make sure that it hooks on there. And then you go down here, there's another hook on here, right there, and then you thread your needle, okay? You want to go from the front to the back, which is going to be really difficult for me to do at this angle, so I will thread it and I'll come back. Okay, so you notice on this is a little dot. This is the stitch you're doing. So right now I am doing this number 11, which means that my stitch is all the way over on the left side. Thus, if you go over here and you look at the needle side, you want it to be in the center for typical sewing, and so we're going to fix that. You want it to be stitching in the middle. Also here, this is your stitch length, so I have 10, which is a really long stitch. If it breaks, this will unravel really easy. You probably want to use something more in the middle, like the 8, or maybe even the 7. It depends on how cautious you are. So that will put the needle back in the middle. and over here it was on the left side. There's other stitches here too. We'll talk about those later, but for right now I'm going to sew on the 8. I'm just going to show you some of the different stitches. So we are at the 8 that I showed you, and actually doesn't sound as loud as I thought it was going to sound. So that's the 8. Let's go and I'll show you the 10. Stitch will be longer, and then let's go all the way down to the 6. Notice how it's going so much slower. It's because it's taking more stitches. Always make sure the needle is up and that little bar comes up there too. Then you're done. Pull the presser foot out. You can see right here is where it switched. Okay, and then on the back you can see it as well. Just normal stitches. Let's do another one. Zigzags are over here. So these number 5 zigzags are tighter, and then you've got 2 and 3. This machine doesn't allow you to make the width of the zigzag different and the length different. They kind of give you, you know, these 6 options. So let's just do 4. Put your presser foot down. Again, make sure that the needle's out. This bar is all the way up. Lift up your presser foot. It's a zigzag stitch, front and back. So over here you have the 1, the A, C, B. This is for a buttonhole. And then you have the buttonhole foot here that you can use for that. Maybe I'll do another video on that because I don't want... Do you want me to do the buttonhole? I guess I could do the buttonhole. I don't feel like doing a buttonhole, but I never do. I never do feel like doing a buttonhole. And some of you may want to know because you might want to sew buttonholes. So let's go for it. Okay. I got me a button. I put it down in there. Now, look, notice this slides. This is to help you make a perfect buttonhole. Yes, with the $72 machine, you can make a perfect buttonhole. This little foot on the bottom hops off, and this little bar goes in there. There we go. Squeeze in there. Notice the A is at the bottom, so we actually want this little doodad to be at the bottom because A starts down there, so you want this to be all the way down there. Put your button back there so you know when to stop. So I'm at A, and I guess we're ready. Is it gonna work? That's the question. You just leave it in there. So you go from A, obviously, to B. I'm getting close to my button back there, and it should stop me once I get to the button, and that means I need to switch it. So let's see what happens. It has hit resistance, and that last couple stitch didn't go very far. So I'm gonna pull this needle out. I'm gonna go back to C, and it's gonna stitch a tack across the top, and then we're gonna go to D. Again, I still think it's a little wide for a buttonhole, and we've reached the end. Pull it out. Let's see what we look like. Oh wow! Woot woot woot! We have a buttonhole. You can cut it. Will the button go through it? Ta-da! Perfect. See, look at that. Perfect size. How many layers of denim can you go through? It should be easy to go through 3, right? Right? Should we start with 2? Let's start with 2. I guess I'm not giving it the benefit of the doubt. Put the presser foot. Put the presser foot down. And ladies and gentlemen, it sews denim. It does. Not a skip stitch at all. Not a skip stitch. All right, now we're up to 3. Put that down. Full force. Not a problem for our $72 machine. Not a skip stitch. Okay, let's go 4. 4 layers. Down we go. $72 machine. Put that lever back up there. Wow, I'm actually impressed. I thought it was going to start skipping. It is not skipping stitches, so we're at 5 layers of denim. The machine sounds a little bit like it's a little bit struggling this time. Let's see if it actually skipped any stitches. Watch, I'm going to break a needle. It's going to fly up and break my camera. Okay. No. 6 layers of denim? That's actually a lot. This isn't like your thin chambray. It's just normal stretch cotton. I think it's 11 ounce from Joann's. This is 6 layers of denim. Not a problem. Not even struggle with that. All right. Does anybody even sew any more than 6 layers of denim? I mean, should I really sew denim until like the machine breaks? I think 6 layers is good. I think 6 layers is good, but let's do 8. Just because I know somebody out there is gonna go, I sew 8 layers. All right, 8. It barely fits under the machine. In fact, it doesn't want to go underneath there. It says, no, I don't want to. So I'm gonna get it going by spinning that dial over there. And if you are worried about how thick your layers are, you wanna kind of go slower, spin that dial to get it going. And guys, it is doing 8 layers of denim. Up that goes. Let's pull this out. No skip stitches there or there. Again, I started it slowly and then I didn't floor it like I did on the other one. But my $72 Brother machine did 8 layers of denim. All right, next thing you want to know. Does it do stretch material? This is pretty stretchy material. Let me show you what happens when you do a straight stitch. So there's a straight stitch like we were just doing on the denim. Here's your straight stitch and it doesn't stretch anymore. And so now if you wanted to, if this was on your neckband and you wanted to get it on, you wouldn't be able to get it on anymore. Like if this was on armhole and you actually did get it through, you would break the thread like I just did. See there, it's broken. And eventually it would come undone. So, is there an answer for this? I'm so glad you asked because there's lots of answers. Even on this machine, it only has 17 stitches, but there are lots of answers. So we've got zigzags. Watch this. If I zigzag, oh, we did the 4, didn't we? Let's do the 3. Press your foot up, press our foot, they're up, they're up. And then look, this actually does stretch with me, where that one didn't. This one will stretch not as much as without the thread, but it stretches enough that if you had this on your neckband or in your armholes or whatever, you could still do this. And really any of those zigzags. Okay, so what I will say is the wider the zigzag is and the shorter it is together, the more stretch you'll have. So wide and short. If you don't have this kind of machine, you have another machine, you can do a wide and short and it'll stretch the most. There are some other stretches on here